Federal prosecutors investigating former President Donald Trump's handling of classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago are now demanding his family business records associated with Live Golf. According to the New York Times, the subpoenas were issued to the Trump Organization by prosecutors working for special counsel Jack Smith. These subpoenas are directly related to Smith's classified documents probe. It's not clear, at least not yet, how Trump's ties to Live Golf fit into the classified documents investigation. Also new, according to reports, a Mar-a-Lago insider has provided investigators with information and has been confidentially cooperating with prosecutors. Of course, the term information is vague. We don't know what type of information. But the investigators do seem to be interested in any movement at Mar-a-Lago of the boxes holding the classified documents. Investigators also seem to be interested in why some of the surveillance footage from Mar-a-Lago is allegedly missing. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. As an aside, this year, the Saudi-backed golf tour is set to hold tournaments at 3 Trump-owned golf courses. And former magazine columnist Jean Carroll's civil case against former President Donald Trump is coming to a close. On Thursday, the last witness testified, ending the evidentiary stage of the trial. Both sides have now rested. On Monday, there will be closing arguments followed by jury deliberations. Now, the judge presiding over the trial, federal judge Lewis Kaplan, even though both sides have rested, has kept the option of a possible late appearance in court for Trump. Judge Kaplan has given Trump until Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern to submit a request to reopen the hearing if Trump wants to testify. However, Judge Kaplan did not say if he would grant that request. I assume, however, though, if he gives Trump until Sunday a request to testify, that the judge would grant that request. And on Thursday, while Trump was on his golf course in Ireland, he told reporters that he was leaving Ireland early to go to New York and confront Carroll in court. However, Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, told the judge that Trump would not be appearing in court and testifying. Carroll has accused Trump of raping her back in about 1996, but she is not sure of the date. She alleges the incident happened in a fitting room in a luxury Manhattan department store, Bergdorf Goodman. The lawsuit also accuses Trump of defaming Carroll when in 2019, Trump publicly denied her allegation of rape and also said that he did not know her. Harvard Law School Professor Emeritus and author of the book, Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law, Alan Dershowitz joins me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, so if you were Donald Trump or his lawyer, would you recommend that he testify or not?
Well, if he doesn't testify and doesn't appear in court, all they have is the prosecution's case with some cross-examination. That is the plaintiff's case with some cross-examination. I don't see how he expects to win that way. I think his only hope is if he were to be able to persuade a jury, A, that he didn't do it, and B, on the defamation matter, that even if he did do it, he didn't remember it when he accused her. So you usually, in a criminal case, you don't take the stand because the jury hasn't heard your testimony at all. Here, the jurors have heard his testimony. Remember, he was deposed. And he said he never met her, he never heard of her. He was confronted with a picture of the two of them together. And so the risk of perjury is not as great, because if he's going to be consistent with what he said in the deposition, that die has already been cast. So there is an argument out of desperation that perhaps he should take the stand, but I predict he probably won't.
You know, when you and I both practice law, is that my worst nightmare always is when a client wanted to testify, because suddenly the client's 15 feet away from you, and the client always thinks that he knows more than everybody else involved in the courtroom. And I suspect that Donald Trump is a more difficult client that way than others. I would think so. And so, I mean, I don't know what he would gain by testifying except opening himself up to cross-examination where he might say something inconsistent with what he said in the deposition, whether it's an innocent inconsistency or something else.
No, I think that's usually a good reason not to put a witness on. You know, generally in civil cases, a witness has no choice. If a witness is called, he has to testify. If he doesn't testify, in general, the judge can give an instruction. Remember, he has no Fifth Amendment right in a civil case. He's just like anybody else, and he should have to testify, and the judges can generally give an instruction saying if he chooses not to testify, well, there must be a reason for that, and you can take that into account. Now, in this case, he did subject himself to a deposition, and involuntarily, he didn't choose to do that, and the deposition was presented to the jury. So it's a situation where the real question is, does he gain or lose if he eyeballs the jurors, if he looks them in the eye and says to them, look, I really never met this woman. I don't know who she is. If you get one or two jurors believing that, you get a hung jury.
Well, there's no question of jail. This isn't a criminal case. This is a civil case, and I know that you know that. But so how does a jury decide? Let's say hypothetically that the jury believes the woman. How do they decide how much that they should, how much is compensation?
Well, that's the really hard question in a case like this. I mean, she said it's ruined her entire life. He has said, no, even if it happened, it didn't ruin her life. How do you attach a monetary amount, A, to the claim that she was in fact raped, and B, to the claim that she was defamed by his denial? Look, this case never should have been allowed to go to trial. No case that's 7 years old should go to trial. And anybody should have the right to deny that he committed a heinous offense like rape. So this case does not belong in court, but it's in court. And the high likelihood is he will not win it. And it would normally be reversed on appeal because this judge has made error after error after error. But his name is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump doesn't get breaks in court in a city like New York. So lawyers have to take all that into consideration. You know, in my book, Get Trump, I go through all the cases that are pending against him, the investigations. They're looking into his relationships with Saudi Arabia. They're looking into whether boxes were moved. They're trying every possible way to get down one way or another.
Alan Dershowitz, thank you, sir.
Thank you.